All right, good afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started now. I don't want to be yelling here, but I don't want to drop this either. Okay. Sorry about that. Welcome this afternoon to Tea and Trumpets. Each year we take time to celebrate both our scholars and our donors. As I said earlier, I'm Jamie McDonald, and I'm the EOU Alumni Association president right now. I'm excited to be your host for this afternoon's event. The event focuses on connecting our students and our donors, and you should be interspersed at the tables together, so hopefully you've all had the opportunity to introduce and share a little bit about each other's experiences. The Eou Foundation has held this event annually for over 15 years. It's a way to say thank you, and perhaps just as importantly, for conversations to take place where we explore why we do what we do, as well as inspire students to continue to reach for their dreams and donors to continue to support this fantastic institution. Unfortunately, our president, Tom Insko, has fallen sick and is unable to be with us today. He sends his apologies, and hopefully he is watching from home on the live stream of the event. In his absence, Tom's better half, Emily, is here to say a few words.
Thank you, Jamie. Jamie is a 1993, alum of EOU, and he's a commander with the Tigard Police Force and recently graduated from the FBI National Academy. Jamie, we commend you for your public service and also thank you for serving as president of the Alumni Board. Thank you. So on behalf on Tom and myself, I would like to thank all of you for being here. We have had quite the weather and it's treacherous, and we do appreciate each of you for being here. As sorry as I am that Tom isn't feeling well, I'm grateful for the opportunity to stand in front of you. I often don't get the opportunity to thank all of you for your generosity and the way that you inspire Tom and I in your activities with the university. For our scholarship donors, we would like to recognize you for the sacrifice you give to give charitably to our students so that they can achieve their goals. And we hope this afternoon that you experience joy as you see in these students what they are achieving in their studies and in their activities here at Eastern. They do these things because of your generosity. Given the types of students EOU serves, there continues to be great need. I have the opportunity to volunteer for the Aspire program at La Grande High School, which some of you may know about. The Aspire program gives volunteers in the community an opportunity to mentor students, not only in choosing a university for which they would like to attend, but most especially for finding the finances so that they can fulfill their dreams. Through this Aspire program, I see firsthand the anxiety that students feel. They are concerned that they will not be able to afford to obtain their goal of higher education. I am continually impressed by the way they cram their schedules full of volunteer activities for their school, and academic endeavors so that they can qualify for scholarships. By their senior year, their busiest year, they are especially busy applying for such scholarships. I am proud when I can open up my laptop and show these students the number of scholarships that are available to them at Eastern Oregon University. I hope you all are proud and that you will open the same foundation website and take a look. It's a special case among the smaller universities in our state, but also when compared to Oregon State and University of Oregon. Tom's my daughter, currently a freshman at Oregon State. When we opened the offers to freshmen, we saw very few compared to Eastern Oregon University. It's more often that their foundation gives scholarships to students who have already declared a major and were accepted into that college. So to all of you, I commend you for your generosity in making Eastern Oregon stand out in that generosity. To all of the scholarship recipients out there, I also commend you. You have worked hard, and I see that you receive such rewards as the rewards of your scholarships well, but that you also continue to be stellar students and great citizens. Thank you, and congratulations. I do ask each of you, the recipients, to imagine for a moment what it feels like to give to a student like you. It feels fabulous. I encourage you to commit now to follow in the footsteps of these generous donors around you if and when you are able. We hope you are someday able so that you too may experience what it is like to see the faces of our promising future and know you have made a difference. I would like to take a moment to recognize some of our VIPs this afternoon. Today in attendance, we have some members of the EOU Governing Board of Trustees, the EOU Foundation Board of Directors and Trustees, as well as the Alumni Association Board of Directors, and all are in attendance. And a special thanks to Foundation President Mike Alstat. Is Mike here today? He probably was not able to come. Mike has led the foundation to great success the last couple of years, which, as you will see through the stories this afternoon, greatly impacts the lives of our students. Tom and I would like to thank each of you from these organizations for your service and leadership to EOU. Let's all give them a round of applause. Thank you also to the University Advancement Team, who helps to put scholarships in worthy students' hands, and who also has put on this event for us today. We greatly appreciate the work that you do. Again, thank you for being here. We hope to see some of you at the weather report tonight. I'm afraid Tom probably won't be able to make that as well, but I will be there with my daughter. It is an EOU Music Department presentation at McKinsey. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. First of all, thank you everyone for joining us today. I know the weather, as Emily said, and the roads were a little hairy. I drove over from Portland myself this morning, and it was like a skating rink on I-84 between my house, just south of Portland, and about halfway between Hood River and the Dalles. So I know that it's a little crazy out there today. Both my wife, Melissa, and I have been longtime supporters of the university. Melissa and I met here at EOU. We were resident assistants together. We were ambassadors here at Eastern. And, well, we're still married today. That was almost 25 years ago. After graduating from Eastern, we actually literally flipped a coin. Heads Portland, tails Boise. And it came up Portland, so we've been there ever since. But we attribute our successes in our careers to our education here at Eastern and to the experiences that we gained while we were here. We took advantage of work-study jobs, being resident assistants. I was the geography club president. My wife was part of the sociology club. I played baseball, and we were involved in a variety of different activities on campus as well. We fully immersed ourselves in the experience of Eastern. We were able to graduate with minimal debt. And we began our lives with less stress and not having to pay back huge amounts of student loans. Unfortunately, times have changed a little bit, and it isn't as easy for students to do that today. But what we can give to these students, I know that each and every one are very thankful for what they get. It makes an incredible impact in their futures from here on out as they start their lives leaving school. We have 2 children in college ourselves. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, we couldn't get them to come to Eastern. And I won't say the dreaded university that they both go to, but it has a large rodent as their mascot. And I do tell them that mountaineers actually hunt beavers, and ducks, and wolves. You know, we could go on. Emily mentioned that I spent some time back in Quantico, Virginia. For 3 months this fall, I was in a leadership program back in Quantico with the FBI, and it was an amazing experience. But probably one of the best experiences that I can bring back is bringing a piece of Eastern Oregon University to people from all around the world. One of the moments that stands very vivid is a Saturday we were watching football games. They have a spot with some big screen TVs to watch football games, and I was streaming Mountaineer football on my 13-inch laptop screen. And on one side of me, I have Wendell, who's from Oklahoma and was a wide receiver for Tulsa, University of Tulsa. And on the other side, I have Paul, and he's from Alabama, so think Forrest Gump. And he sounds just like Forrest Gump. He really does. And you can hear him yell, "Roll Tide!" That's all he ever says, I think. But he's an Alabama alum, and I've got both of them behind me as we're watching the 13-inch screen of EOU football, Mountaineer football. And when Mountaineers score, Paul jumps up and yells, "Touchdown!" And here's a guy that has season tickets to the Crimson Tide, rooting for the Mountaineers because he had heard about my experiences here in La Grande. So a little personal experience that I was able to share surrounding the success of our football team with arguably one of the greatest football programs in the country. And he was so impressed. He said, "I think I'm going to come out to Oregon and watch some football." Anyway, that's my buddy Paul. I talk to him about 3 times a week still, and I think we're lifelong friends out of it. Anyway, that was off script. I'll get back on script here. Melissa and I truly believe in paying it forward. For that reason, we've remained actively engaged in our alma mater for over 24 years. Sorry, had to do the math real quick. I got my degree in geography and regional planning, so it cut me a little slack. So we help with reunions. We're involved in alumni events regionally in the Portland area, and then being involved in the Alumni Association as well. But one of the other things that we've done too is we have chosen to give back financially to the university. And the way that we do it is we do it in a monthly payment, basically. So it can be set up for a very little fee. If you choose to make a donation, it can be taken out of your checking account for $10 a month if you want to. So that's an opportunity for you to give something back to Eastern, and it's less than a couple cups of coffee a month. Simple way to do it, but that's the easiest way for us. It's just like another bill. Although I am the president of the Alumni Association, we do work very closely with the EOU Foundation and represent the Alumni Association at foundation board meetings over the last couple of years. I've seen firsthand the impact the foundation has made on the lives of students and the programs that they've been able to support. I'm sure that you will agree after hearing the stories from the students a little later in the program that the work of the foundation is truly irreplaceable and integral to the success of EOU. The funds housed in the foundation, which many of you in this room contribute to, directly impact our students and help increase the recruitment and retention of them. They are the lifeblood of this university. The EOU Foundation has made providing scholarships for new and returning students a top priority. Not only do scholarships help fund students to realize their dreams of a college education, but many of our graduates work in their own communities to build businesses, teach school, serve in community organizations, and enhance the quality of life. In doing this, they give back much more than they have received. The foundation currently stewards $13 million in assets earmarked for student and university support, and awards of over $550,000 in scholarships are given each year. With state funding cuts, private support is even more critical than ever to our current and future successes. The donors in this room today all make a significant impact to our students, this great university, and our region. For that, I would like to say thank you. For all of our students here today, as you complete your education, I hope you will join me and consider giving back to your alma mater and support those who follow in your footsteps here at Eastern Oregon University. Like I said, even the smallest start, just a few dollars a month, and you can be giving something back to help another student in the future. Thank you again for being here today. Each year, this event provides an opportunity for scholarship donors to meet students who receive their support, and for students to share their dreams, talk about their progress, and personally thank you for your generosity. Also, a special thanks to Sodexo for the appetizers, the tea and the coffee this afternoon. The sandwiches are particularly delightful. It is now my pleasure to welcome our speakers. Unfortunately, our first student, Rachel Farrell, is currently recovering from a medical emergency. Now, what is going on in LeGrand right now? Tom and then Rachel, we've got some people that are sick. Don't get me sick, okay? Anyway, hopefully she's going to be okay. She's unable to be with us today, but she did send a speech that she planned to say or to give this afternoon, and I'm going to read it on her behalf. She is the recipient of the Dauben Memorial Scholarship, and I have her words here that she was going to share. It's been quite a while since I've stood behind a podium at EOU, and although I'm very honored, oh my gosh. You know, I got my degree in geography. It actually says right here that her speech is attached to the last page. I did learn to read at Eastern. And I can actually get from point A to point B really well. Okay, I'm not going to steal your thunder, Dixie. This actually says Rachel's speech on the top. And in police work, we call that a clue. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rachel Farrell, and I'm a freshman this year at Eastern. I grew up with two very hardworking parents who both attended college and made their dreams come true. Those dreams were to become an educator and an artist. From the time I was very young, I remember my parents telling me to save because they would not be able to help me with my college tuition. I had big dreams, even at a young age. And by the time I was a junior in high school, the reality of college and that financial responsibility finally hit me. The summer of my junior year, I felt that God was calling me to become a missionary, but not just any missionary. I attended my first birth, and my future suddenly became very clear. I was going to be a midwife, but how? I always held on to the faith that God would provide an answer to this question. My senior year was spent applying to various scholarships and narrowing down my college preferences to 3 schools. Eastern was among the 3. I prayed and said, okay, whichever school I get more aid to is the school I know I'm supposed to go to. I applied to the EOU Foundation and kept my fingers crossed. When I received the letters informing me of my aid, I couldn't believe how blessed I had been. Not only did I receive one scholarship, I received 3. Put together with my school scholarships and federal aid, these donors had made it not only possible for me to go to school, but my entire first year of college is completely paid for. I cannot express my sincere gratitude toward Eastern and the donors who contribute to the EOU Foundation. Without you, I would never have realized how much I love nursing and how excited I am to become a midwife. Your legacy will live on through my education and future endeavors to serve our community and nation. Thank you. And hopefully that Rachel will get back on track and not be sick for too long. Rachel's a great example of the character of an Eastern student. Even responsible when faced with a crisis, and wanted to be sure to fulfill her promise to share her story with all of you today. We wish her a speedy recovery. Next, I would like to welcome one of our EOU softball players, Taylor Gerlach. Taylor, come on up. Did I say your last name right?
Gerlach.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Gerlach. I am 22 years old, and I am from Auburn, California, which is between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe, Reno-ish. Growing up, I came from a single-parent household with a twin sister who also attends here at EOU. Growing up, college wasn't never guaranteed. With my mom working full-time, basically it was my sister and I depending on each other to help each other out in school and to keep working hard. With my visit here at EOU, I was welcomed with open arms right away, which really wanted me to pursue my education here at Eastern. After making rough calculations, paying out-of-state tuition here would be better than staying in California, which is very expensive to live in. When I was informed that a donor like you was willing to help me, I was able to breathe again. I was able to keep working on my dream because without you, I would probably be staying at home working minimum wage. My major is elementary education, I have one more year to graduate. I'm currently in the Quest program right now, and I'll be student teaching next fall. But without you, I wouldn't be going to college. After this year, my sister and I would both be the first children in our family to graduate college, which is really big in my family. And I would just like to thank you so much for helping me work toward my dream.
Thank you, Taylor, and good luck this season. I played baseball here in my freshman year, which the winter reminds me a lot of the winter you're currently having. And the baseball field was called Snowflake Field. We actually shoveled snow off the field to play our first game, swept the infield, and by the third inning they had to call it because it had warmed up above freezing and it was too muddy to play. So hopefully you don't have the same experience this spring. Next, I would like to introduce EOU Governing Board Trustee, EOU Foundation donor, and past president twice, Dixie Lund, to share a few words about why she supports the EOU Foundation.
I'll skip the first few words since they've already been shared. This has been just really special. I've had the joy of being able to sit and get acquainted with Taylor, who just spoke, and with Alfredo, who will be graduating. Interesting little side note, Alfredo grew up about a block and a half away from where our son and his family live in Salem. And so he knows the area, as do we, very well. So it's been really special. And to listen to them talk about what their dreams are and the maybe less than college-oriented environments that they have come from. It's a really huge accomplishment. Proud of you. Makes me emotional. Well, it's been quite a while. I'll go ahead and say those words. Since I stood at a podium here at EOU. And although I'm very, very honored, I also have to admit that I've enjoyed not having any official speaking responsibilities since my retirement in 2009. But when Jesse Bowman contacted me about 10 days ago and asked me to speak today, I've had time to think about what it has meant to my husband Ed and I to be donors for many years to EOU. In the beginning of our donating, we just, would send in a few dollars, or because I was an employee here at EOU, I had a few dollars that were taken out of my paycheck every single month. And that was great. It was easy to do, and it was about the best that we could do at that time. Later on, because I was born and raised in John Day, we supported a scholarship that had been established there called the Grant County Future Scholarship. And in those different ways where we were giving, the money just went to a bigger pot of money and was distributed as it was needed. And we never really knew to whom it went, and that was okay. We knew it was doing good for several different students. About 12 years ago, however, I was approached by then athletic director Rob Cashel, who asked if we would like to start a scholarship which has become known as the Lund Champion of Character Scholarship. And it is for a female athlete who is nominated by her head coach, and all the nominations go to the staff and the other coaches and the athletic director, and they look at the academic achievement of the applicants. And to me, as important, if not even a little bit more important because of the name of the scholarship, they look at the 5 values of the National Athletic Association, of which EOU is a part. And those are respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, integrity, and servant leadership. And I'm smiling because Mike Doherty is nodding his head. He and I sit next to each other at the basketball and volleyball games, and every time the announcer goes through those, as they do at every single game, I've always been envious of you, Mike, because he can just rattle them off. So I memorized them for this talk so I could do that. Since that time, our donations have just become so much more personal. The letters that we've received, like many of you donors have received from your recipients, they speak of the appreciation that the students have for the financial help that we have been able to give them. We've gotten letters from Gina, from Leanne, Kyle, Kelsey, Nicole, Bobby, Haley, and Bailey, who's off playing basketball tonight. I wish she could have been here, but I want the Mounties to win. So they've demonstrated their gratefulness, but even more important, they have given us a glimpse into what their hopes and their dreams are for the future after they leave EOU. I saved each one of their letters, and when I knew I was going to speak, I went back and reread them. And I read of a decision to join the Peace Corps and then get admitted to medical school. And I know that that individual did exactly that. I read of another one who wanted to get into a very competitive physical therapy program. Another that wanted to be a physician assistant for an orthopedic office. Another individual who got our scholarship wanted to complete her MBA and then go into either advertising or retail. And yet another one wanted to use her experience in athletics and her orientation toward health to make older people, like a few of us, make healthier choices as we aged. They were special letters to be able to go back and reread. Our scholarship is small, but when it's combined with others and money that comes into the foundation, we are helping these worthy, enthusiastic, and determined EOU students work toward and achieve their goals. And as you've heard here, just like Jamie said, many of these student recipients will say and state in their letters that when they can, they look forward to being able to pay it forward for other EOU students. There are numerous ways to be a foundation donor, and many of you represent the variety of ways, from endowments that earn interest and the endowment stays in an investment and continues to grow and grow, from bequesting part of your estate through your will to the foundation, to monthly withdrawals from a university paycheck, or as Jamie was saying, monthly withdrawals from a checking account. We have ours charged to our credit card, and I don't have to pay $10 a month. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe they'll start charging. I don't know. There's also, this last September, several of us experienced, to me it was a surprise, each year through the Mountaineer Athletic Association, Craig and Kay Brasseth host a Mountaineer Athletic barbecue at their home. And that evening, they were doing a fundraiser for EOU scholarships. And in, I'm guessing, 30 minutes or less, we raised $15,000 for scholarships. So there's so many different ways that we can help. There is a word from a favorite book of mine that says, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be expected. And from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." And I believe that I speak for all of us donors here today in saying that we are so grateful to be able to give much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dixie. Our next student speaker is Crystal Mitchell from Pendleton, Oregon, and the recipient of the James and Margaret Huber Scholarship. Crystal?
Hello everyone, my name is Crystal Mitchell and I am currently a senior here at Eastern, finishing up my last 2 terms. I'm originally from Pendleton, Oregon, and growing up I was very active in my community in various volunteer organizations. I will be graduating in June with a degree in biochemistry and a minor in biology. I have been fortunate enough to be a Foundation Scholarship recipient all 4 years that I have attended Eastern, and I could not be more grateful. Over the past 4 years, I have made countless memories at Eastern and would not trade my experience here for the world. I feel privileged to have been taught by world-class professors and have learned a great deal in chemistry, biology, research, and various other studies. I've been active in the chemistry club while working here on campus through a work-study position. My experience here has greatly prepared me for the next step in my education. Following graduation, I will begin the Doctorate of Pharmacy program at Washington State University in Spokane, Washington. I am very excited for the next chapter in my education, but will greatly miss my Eastern family and the LeGrand community. I was raised by a single, hardworking mother who supported me in all of my endeavors, but did not have the financial means to make college possible for me. As a high school senior, I was very nervous that the only way I would be able to pay for college was with loans, putting me into a significant amount of debt. The scholarships I have received from the foundation over the past 4 years have allowed me to worry less about the financial aspects of college, and I can't wait to be able to give back to foundations such as the EOU Foundation that have helped put me through school. Thank you for your generosity and for believing in me to excel here at Eastern.
Thank you, Crystal. That's a great story, and good luck on your next step in your journey. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Malia Mills, one of our student standout volleyball stars, and also the recipient of Ruth Becker Memorial Scholarship.
Hi, my name is Malia Mills. I am a junior here at Eastern, and I am a psychology major, and I also play on the volleyball team. I grew up right down the road in Imbler, Oregon. Growing up in a small town, it was always a dream of mine to play volleyball at the collegiate level. I grew up in a small family of 4, all of whom played collegiate sports. My dad and my brother played football, and my mom played volleyball. Both of my parents actually attended Eastern Oregon, so it was a pleasure having the opportunity to attend Eastern Oregon University as well. My mom is a 4th grade teacher, and my dad is the athletic director at Imbler, and my brother is now attending grad school here and helping coach football. My parents make enough money to supply for our family, but they definitely don't make enough to send my brother and I through college. From my freshman year of college on, I have tried to take care of college tuition and costs on my own. Being a student athlete, however, makes job opportunities hard to come by. For these reasons, I am so thankful for donors like you and all of your generosity to students here at EOU. I am so proud to be a Mountaineer and will soon be a proud graduate of Eastern Oregon University, and that would not have been possible without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Malia. Last but not least, we have Cedrino Rangel. Is that good? I got it close. He was giving me Spanish lessons before we started today. I took German at Eastern, so. His long-term plans include becoming a high school principal or a president of a university. When's Tom going to retire? He's got a little while, I think, which is good for you, Sid. Sid is the recipient of the Joy Veach and William J. Dauben Scholarship. Please join me in welcoming Sid.
Alrighty, thank you. And So my name is Cedrino Rangel. I go by Sid, and I'm a senior here at Eastern Oregon University. I'll start off with a little story here. My dad used to tell us stories about why he and my mom worked the way they did. Stories about their decision to move to the United States and their constant struggle to provide resources for our upbringing and for our education. Those stories taught me to value higher learning and never take it for granted. I plan to graduate in June and become a Spanish teacher. When my parents left Guanajuato, Mexico, they knew exactly what they wanted for their family, an education. They worked long hours picking apples, cleaning irrigation ditches, and doing other seasonal jobs just to keep a roof over our heads. And I'm super grateful for that. My siblings and I were often on our own to write essays and research papers in a language that we didn't speak. I began my undergraduate career as a transfer student from Treasure Valley Community College, not knowing the ropes, not knowing anything, how to apply to college, scholarships, none of that. I didn't know anything. And I'm super grateful that the foundation was able to help me. I was the first of my 5 siblings to attend a 4-year university, and now I am currently working toward my Bachelor of Arts degree. I am glad to be part of a great community here at EOU. I really enjoy learning new concepts from different disciplines here at the university. I have taken advantage of the opportunities provided by this scholarship and have become involved in student government, the men's soccer program, the Latino Impact Club, tutoring for the TRIO Student Support Services, amongst other campus activities here at EOU. With your generous gifts, I was able to accomplish that and much more, and I thank you for that. My future goals consist of becoming a principal of a local high school or president of a college or university someday. My passion has always been helping others through leadership and encouragement to maximize their potential individually. But first, I must take baby steps. I anticipate to graduate from EOU in June of 2017 with my Bachelor's of Arts degrees so that I can teach Spanish, physical education, English to speakers of other languages, and coach soccer in the K through 12th grade setting. After my bachelor's degree, I plan to enroll in the MAT program through EOU and anticipate to graduate by June of 2018 or 2019, depending on circumstances. I think that this is what college is all about, exploring the different opportunities one can make while garnering a degree. I want to thank you for the help that you have given me to try something new along my educational career. I cannot describe how thankful I am for the opportunities that this degree will offer me. As a first-generation student, it is an honor to attend a university that has invested in me as a student, as a leader, and as an athlete. This place has given me so much, and I look forward to the day that I can give back to this community, future Mountaineers, and especially the EOU Foundation. Thank you all, and have a great day.
Thank you, Sid. What a pleasure it's been to hear from some of our students and our donors this afternoon. It really, truly is the essence of what Eastern is about, is hearing the experiences from the students and what they've gotten from the generosity of our donors. I give kudos to them all and to the Foundation's donors for helping us attract and retain such fantastic students. You're all welcome to take home a Tea and Trumpets gift bag, which are on the tables there. We hope that these simple offerings will remind you of our gratitude for your contributions and provide you with a way to remember the impact you have on the lives of our students. In addition, an EOU Foundation brochure is being provided, giving you information about how to continue your support for EOU, as well as other opportunities to become more involved. As many of you know, this weekend the EOU Music Department presents the Weather Report, featuring your favorite songs of summer, fall, winter, and spring by the EOU Chamber Choir and 45th Parallel. The first show is tonight at 7:30, followed by 2 more shows tomorrow at 4:30 and at 8 p.m. in Mackenzie Theater. Tickets are on sale at the door 1 hour prior to the concert. Thank you again for coming this afternoon, and thank you very much once again for your continued support. Please feel free to stay around and mingle with the students and students with the donors that are here, and continue the conversations that you started earlier. Have a great evening. Thank you.